All right, here we go. CTA and BOI. What is it? Why do we have it? And what do we do? Lots of letters and a lot of questions. So we're going to start with the basics. CTA, what is it? The Corporate Transparency Act was a law that was enacted in 2022, and it is just now becoming enforceable. And why do we have it? Who knows, because it's government. But they created in CTA something called BOI, Beneficial Ownership Information Reporting. And basically what it's saying is every company, every LLC, every INC that exists must report to FinCEN who the beneficial owners are. So the question becomes is who's FinCEN? Okay, well, we're going to go back to the beginning. There is the Secretary of State. Every state will have a Secretary of State. That is where you go and you set up your LLC or your INC or some form of business entity and business structure. Then you have the IRS. And we're going to be throwing a lot of alphabet letters at you today, and it just is what it is. IRS handles the income tax payments, and you file a tax return with the IRS. You file your, depending on the state, and every state's different. We're not going to go through all 50 states, but if you have a question, feel free to reach out to us or whoever your tax professional is. We can be found at snappytax.com or sportsnationaccounting.com. And I am just Tax Guy Ben. So, FinCEN is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Think FBI, but under the Department of Treasury. If you remember back in middle school, we have the Department of Justice and the Department of Treasury. FBI falls under the control of the Department of Justice, and FinCEN falls under the Department of Treasury, but they're equal in their enforcement actions. The key to all of this is beneficial ownership. Who is a beneficial owner and why are they doing this? So we're going to explain a little bit about what a beneficial owner is. So a beneficial owner, the Corporate Transparency Act defines a beneficial owner as an individual who meets one or more of the following criteria. Obviously, ownership interest. That's a pretty straightforward, pretty simple one. Any individual who owns 25% or more of a company is a beneficial owner. For the sake of this conversation, I'm going to refer to company as every entity, and I'm going to explain those after I do the beneficial owner. I'm going to explain what entities are eligible, which is about almost all. So the next test after ownership interest, which is pretty simple, is control. Any individual who exercises substantial control over the reporting company. Substantial control is broadly defined to include significant managerial control or influence over the company. So picture this. You have someone and you own a company and you have someone who basically runs it for you. They're not really a manager. They almost act like an owner on your behalf when you're not there. That would be a beneficial owner for reporting purposes of the Corporate Transparency Act. The next question is management authority. Any individual with significant responsibility to control, manage, or direct the reporting company, such as executive officers or managers. So, think about a company who has an owner. When they're not there, they have someone who basically operates as the owner for them and sits in their place. And then they have a general manager of some sort, an executive level manager, who basically runs day-to-day operations and is in control of employees and operations and any of those type of standard business functions. That also could be a beneficial owner for reporting purposes. Okay? So basically any 25% or greater owner or anyone who has any basic decision making. That's the simplest way to look at it. If they can make decisions for the company and that's a beneficial owner. And if they manage day-to-day operations, that is a beneficial owner. And they will need to be listed as a beneficial owner. What companies and what type of companies are responsible for this? Pretty straightforward. If you're an LLC or an INC registered with your local Secretary of State, or if you have a out-of-state registration, you have a reporting company. That reporting company must list with FinCEN all beneficial owners. Okay, what happens if I don't? We don't want to go there, but if you do, if you forget to file it, it is a $10,000 fine and up to $500 a day additionally that you don't cure the issue. If they determine that you were willful, like you intentionally lied to them, then the fine can go up to $100,000 and up to 2 years imprisonment and $500 a day. So how long do you have? If you have a company that was operational and in place with your Secretary of State before January 1st of 2024, you have until December 31st, 2024 to file your beneficial ownership information report with FinCEN. If your company was started January 1st, 2024 or later, you have 90 days from the date of formation to file your report with FinCEN. This is not like the annual report, which is annual. This is not like your annual tax report, which is annual. This is a one-time filing. You file it once and you are good, unless the beneficial owners change, either through sale of stock, bringing in an investor, anything along those lines. It would also change if you moved, if the company changes names, if the company gets a fictitious name. Any of those type of changes would require an updated BOI to be filed, and you have 30 days from the date of change in which to enable that. This also, for right now, is going to be said that if an owner moves their address, you need to update the system. So if the company stays set, but one of the beneficial owners, if they move, then you have to report again. So those are the reasons that you would need to file a new beneficial ownership report update. Other than that, you file it once and you're done. Now, even though if you have a pre-existing company till December 31st, we are not advising you to wait that long, because what if you forget? When you're facing $10,000 fines, just get it done. It doesn't take that long. It's not that painful. We can do them for you. Your regular tax companies can do them for you. Some companies are doing them, some are not. We have opted to do it as a benefit to our clients. And that is basically all the information you should need to know with regards to the Corporate Transparency Act and beneficial owners information reporting. Once again, I am Tax Guy Ben. You can find me under all of my socials under that name. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you all. Have a great day.